This video contains mature themes. Viewer discretion advised. Where my shorties at? The average American stands tall at 5 foot 7 inches. What? That's tall. I myself am a proud 5'8", so not short. It's very easy to get caught up on the height problem if you're a guy. There's more to the modern relationship than just that. But I will admit, it can seem difficult to get to first base if you're under the magic number of 6 feet. Let's say you do get to that stage. Great!
Now what?
Short guys may find it difficult to have sex using the standard opening moves. The classic pick her up and toss her on the bed, or the great and fantastic she jumps into your big strong arms. None of that is really all that possible when you're a shorty, so you have to get creative. If you're one of these short guys who managed to make it this far, and you pulled up this video right before doing it, this video is for you. I have here 8 positions and 4 general tips for great sex. Let's get started. Position number 1, doggy style. So I'm not allowed to include pictures, so you're gonna have to use your imagination here. You're both on your knees. She's in front, and she arches her back and leans forward. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a classic for a reason, very easy. This position, great for short guys, as you're both going to be on your knees, which kind of takes the height element out of the equation. Now, if she's like 7'2" and you're 4'8", there may be a problem. But generally speaking, this position corrects for any height difference. Doggy is also great for beginners in general because it allows either party to take control. If the man takes control, the woman has to do very little on her own, just move with the rhythm. If she takes control, this leaves the man's hands free to explore her other erogenous zones, balancing out the pleasure. We've talked about the importance of the clitoris and nipples, both of which should be within reach in this position. Position number 2, kitchen counter. Find a countertop, coffee table, or any other flat surface that sits at a medium height. The woman will sit on this flat surface, legs apart. The man stands in front and enters. Sure, standing sex isn't the most popular thing in the world, but you can adjust this however you want. Maybe the woman lays down on the table. Maybe she's in a doggy position. There's a lot of combinations here, given the variables of the height of the participants and the height of the table. Also, make sure you clean the table when you're done. Position number 3, cross butt. Haha, funny name. This one's done pretty much how it sounds. The woman will lay on her back, and the man will lay down on his stomach. But he's at an angle, and he penetrates from an angle. It almost looks like scissoring. Again, probably not a position you immediately think of when you get started. This is more like a 3rd or 4th position change, if you happen to last that long. My sources actually disagree on how to properly execute this one, so we'll call this the modified cross butt. The woman flips over so she's on her stomach, and the man closes the angle so he's more in line with her. So, woman on bottom, on her stomach. Man on top, leaning over her. This is for the woman who prefers anal over vaginal penetration.
Start digging in your butt, twin.
What? What?
If you're the man in this scenario, it's important not to put all of your weight onto her. Balance yourself with your forearms or hands. Position number 4, downward dog. This position shares its name with the yoga pose, and is executed pretty much the same way. The woman is in a sort of modified doggy style where she's more flat with the ground, arching her butt so that the man can enter from behind. In truth, a lot of experienced partners will do this particular move and call it doggy, as it's just a better version of doggy. There's a high potential for G-spot stimulation with this one. We're looking for positions that make up for a lack of height in the man, meaning a lack of dominance in the dynamic. Because let's be real, that's what height does. If you want to give the man more control and be in the submissive position, have him hold your hands or even your arms behind your back as you do this. I haven't even done this, and I can tell you that it's probably going to feel good. Oh, and make sure you give the woman a pillow or blanket to rest on.
I'm jaking it. I'm jaking it. Oh.
Position number 5, seated wheelbarrow. If you're the woman, this one's gonna build some arm muscles, so if you need to work out today, this can be a great substitute. What you want to do is find that countertop you used earlier. Hopefully you remember to clean it. This time, the man will sit on it, and the woman will almost do a handstand in front of him. She's ass up in your lap, and her hands are planted onto the floor. Again, this position is great for cheating that feeling of dominance in the dynamic. Not in an unhealthy way, in a way that provides the same feelings a really tall man would. If you're flexible enough, you, the woman, could wrap your legs around his waist. This is going to support that handstand. Trust me, I used to sort of hold a world record for the longest walking handstand. That shit's not easy. And that's actually true, by the way. It was like 50-some meters. Position number 6, spider. Stick with me here, this one's pretty complicated. The man and the woman are both sitting down, facing each other. Both of you need to get into a crab walk position and just walk towards each other. Because of the wonders of human biology, you'll be able to achieve penetration if you get close enough. Doesn't sound super comfortable, but a liberal use of pillows and blankets should make this one doable. It's a pretty advanced position, not like particularly difficult or anything, maybe not a good first date suggestion. You're gonna scare your partner if you whip out this knowledge. Position number 7, cowgirl. I can't believe it took me this many positions to get to cowgirl, but here we are. Pretty much everyone knows how to do this one. It's one of the most common. The man lays down flat on his back, maybe his head is propped up with a pillow so he can get the view. The woman climbs on top, and you're done. A lot of these positions involve the man sitting down or flat on the ground, and the reason for that should be obvious. Sex is a game of the mind, and if you need to distract yourself from your partner's relative height in order to get in the mood, executing these positions may be necessary. If the girl's got long arms, she could give you a titty twister while she's up there.
It could be nipple twist days.
What the fuck?
Position number 8, lotus. Lotus, very similar to spider, but you take it one step further. The man sits crisscross on the ground, and the woman sits on his lap, facing him and also crisscrossing. Again, because this is YouTube, I can't show you pictures, but once you visualize it, it's actually incredibly simple. And hot. Seriously, this is one of the most intimate positions. Spider wouldn't be a good one to suggest too early in the relationship, but lotus is a good alternative if you want to do something interesting. And compact, because this one takes up minimal space. Quick note, though. Don't attempt this if you're not wearing a condom. The dismount will not be fast, unless you're going to throw her across the room. So, those were some good positions to try if you're a short guy. The reason I'm making this video, and the reason I make videos in general, is to come up with creative solutions to these problems that we're facing. Cheating, big problem in our generation. And one way to combat that as a man is to get better at sex. You laugh, but it kind of makes sense. Most women, when asked, said they would have a second partner just for sex, if it were widely accepted. Fellas, that's not a good thing. If you're sexually active, no matter how tall you are, you gotta work on your game. And to round out this video, I've got a few general tips for short men to follow during sex. Tip number 1, take a seat.
Young Skywalker.
A lot of those positions take advantage of this, but it's a good thing to keep in mind when you're thinking of things to try. If you are, vertically challenged, then find a position where the man is sitting down. It removes the height mechanic from the experience. Not to mention, it's just more comfortable. If there's a position that you both like to do, but you're insecure about height, try a modified version of that where you're lower to the ground. I mean, if you really think about it, few sex positions don't involve one or both partners sitting to some degree. Just embrace it, you know? Sex while sitting can be more comfortable. Caleb Back, health and wellness expert for Maple Holistic, says, being comfortable is important for ensuring that either partner has more control during sex. That way, you can stop worrying about the how and start thinking about the how long. Tip number 2, avoid acrobatic positions. My source mentions 2 positions called the shoulder stand and the butter churner, which sound crazy. Probably not a good idea to attempt these if one participant is much shorter than the other. The execution of either of those is going to be incredibly awkward, so you should probably stick to the simple positions. I know, after watching Lavender Corretta, you might be inclined to experiment with a bunch of crazy shit, but it's good to start with something vanilla, and then maybe move on to something a bit more interesting. Because if you're doing stuff that's too crazy, it might seem like you're overcompensating for your height, and you don't want to do that. Tip number 3, start lifting. Hey, maybe conventional sex isn't your thing, or your partner's thing. Maybe you're incapable of getting off when the sex is too vanilla. What then? Even if you're short, as long as you haven't been skipping arm day, you can try to lift her up. You know, the classic pick her up and hold her against a wall trick. Very erotic, very hot. But do not drop her. You're at a disadvantage here, being short. Maybe pile some blankets under that corner of the wall. But if you can pull it off, the substituted feeling of dominance is gonna go crazy. Tip number 4, try other routes. This last tip might be the most important. Yes, I know, tip number 2 said to avoid the complicated acrobatic positions. But it's not all about the position. If you're at a height disadvantage, you can try to make up for it in other areas. Get really good with your hands. Figure out where her best erogenous zones are. We humans are all built different, and you can't just assume your partner will like this rather than that. We just did an entire episode on nipples, so if you want to try interesting stuff, give that a watch and figure out how to activate that pleasure point. It's really easy and really effective, but it's something that's slept on. I have to stress this to the guys out there. Penetration is not the only way to have sex. That is how you lose your partner. So, if you're a short guy, I'm not gonna lie to you. The odds are 1,000,000 to 1, and that's with some generous rounding. But it is possible to really show her a good time if you know what you're doing. My mission here is to bring peace to the gender war by showing men how to properly have sex. Is it a very strange solution? Yes. But really think about it, it could work. You know, not that I'm a complete expert, I'm just as inexperienced as you probably are, but we can help each other. So, make sure to subscribe for more sex tips and more videos like this. My name is Candles. I love you all. Good night.